What up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Give me a quick sound check real fast. Make sure volumes are appropriate. Let's see. I think I could turn this down a little more. Alright. Maybe now. How's that? Everybody have good volume on the receiving end? Okay. So yeah. Looking at Bitcoin here. Let's see. Okay, we got a thumbs up. We got a thumbs up on the volume, so good. Good news there. Okay, so Bitcoin. Here we go. We're looking at this level up here. Check this out. Okay, that was basically 53K, all right? So if we look back over here to the left, over here under Pepe, right here at this local last, it's not the all-time high, it's the previous, it's like the second one down. Watch, let me show you. See what I mean? There's the all-time highs back below it, and then we dumped and we rose back up. We're fibbing from this like local high, okay? So checking that fib out, let's see here. Copy that. Okay, checking from that level up here. If we fib from right here, okay, down to the local low down here on June 22nd, you'll see that we went right to that 786 and no higher. All right, that was right at 53K exactly. All right, so very interesting respect of the fibs. Okay, so just wanted you guys to see where we were, why we kind of hit this area. Okay, so let's put it like this. Okay, so for one, we had critical 786 fib. Okay, we hit that. Let me make this a little bigger, make it so you can see it. Okay, so that was one. We hit a critical 786 fib. All right, now zooming in, let me zoom in on this. Obviously you can see we have a not obviously, but more hindsight on that, right? We can see a massive butterfly on the low time frame. So number two, we had a pattern reversal zone D, short entry target of a bearish butterfly. Okay, so that was kind of number two item, critical item, was this pattern. All right, then if we get rid of the pattern for a second and we look at, we look at these lows, right? We look at this low here and we fib it. Okay, so if we fib it from this low, sorry, from this high up here, excuse me, from this high to low, we're looking for the run ups. You can see that we basically hit a 1618 was at 53.1, right? So you had that 53 and change 786, and then you had this 618 right above it. So it was this critical, basically golden mean ratio zone, right? So we have to account for that. So 3, we hit a 1618 golden mean ratio, okay, on the fibs. Okay, so critical area, right? Now that we see the reaction, look at these items, right? So massive amounts of, basically three critical ingredients to a reversal or to a move to the upside, whichever side this type of stuff is on, right? So, okay, so we found that basically obviously at this level right here. Okay. So let's look at it now and see if we could find this same type of stuff. Okay. But let's find it down here for a move to the upside. Okay. So let's see what we have going on the other way, right? So let's zoom back out, get some more perspective again. So here you can see where we were. Let me back this out. All right. Back this out a little. All right. So there you go. Reset. Reset the dials, right? Okay. So now from this previous low coming back up, okay, let's fib this. So from high to low, we've so far hit a 382. Okay. So, which isn't the most significant, but it does kind of, these 236 and 382 indicate kind of the beginning zone of what will ultimately be a 50% 618 or deep retrace. Okay. Just depending on, where you end up with this. All right. So it kind of signifies that, something's cooking here. So a lot of times what we're going to end up seeing is a potential sweep of this low. One more slightly lower low, and then maybe we get the slightly higher high, and that's kind of your inverse head and shoulders price action kind of reversal. Okay. Now where that occurs at which of these levels is still, to be seen here. Okay. So because look, you can have a low, and a higher low, right? What's the difference, right? Nothing really. Okay. So we'd be looking now for, let me move this a little bit out of our way. We'd be looking now for golden retrace. So golden zone is 382 to the 618. And even more so, typically, commonly, you're going to have a 50% retrace. Okay. After a major markup in price, it's very common that you retrace 50% of the way. Okay. At a minimum. Doesn't have to happen, but it's very common occurrence. Okay. Now we see this and we're like, okay, is that going to be it? Let's look back over here left. What do we have going on at the 50? Well, we do have some stuff going on there. So if we mark this level back here, okay, you can see that, it's really right on that 50, right? So you can see where we have previous resistance, even here, resistance, right? Sold off one last time, and before finally breaking above it. This could finally now be the back test of it. Okay. So there's the argument for the 50 is really good. Really good support resistance level looking back left. All right. So now, so that's kind of your argument for the 50. So then let's say, okay, how are we going to argue for this 618 at 38? Well, looking back left here, you can see we have a square up that hasn't been tagged yet. And that aligns right with that 618. So you would figure that somewhere in this golden zone, if you want to dial it in, even say the deep portion of the golden zone, if that makes sense, okay, would be between basically 41 and 38 2. All right. So this is definitely in play here. So let's just, see what happens. Okay. We basically need, yeah, you might have some kind of, you already got a pretty good bounce off this. You can still go a little bit higher, but then you figure you're going to sell off one more time. Okay. And this is where you end up coming into this area. Okay. So let's keep an eye on this price action. Okay. Right now, this doesn't really give us enough data here. It's just one big engulfing candle. So we need some stabilization of price, okay? Okay, so what would that start to look like then if we got some kind of 618 here? So let's check this out. So for one, on our chart down here, we could say, okay, down at the bottom, we're gonna look for either you know, between a 0.5 and a 0.618 you know, fib retracement level, okay? And so that's kind of this area here, okay? So that'll be our number one. If we before I move on further, I want to also show you guys something here. It's interesting to note where this stopped right out the gate. Speaking of how we were talking about this 1618 on the top, right? So let's go back and look. So from this previous little local high to low, okay, you can see we went up and we hit the 1618, okay? Now let's do it the other way. Let's go from this local low back up to this high. Sorry, it was from this local low back up to this high. You can see we hit the 1618 again on the bottom side, okay? So interesting note to note as to where this kind of went from 1618 to 1618. All right, so golden mean ratio to golden mean ratio, tagged them both. All right, so that's kind of already happened, and now you've got this rebound recovery. You just have this indecision candle here, just kind of puttering along at resistance. Okay, at resistance. So your next level of resistance would be here. So if you kind of run up again, you might tag, you know, 50K again and sell back off. Okay, so one of these is probably gonna fail. All right, this just doesn't, it seems like it needs a little more recovery. It needs like to basically get some momentum, right? Think if you had a car and it was broken down at a stop and you were trying to push it, right? That first kind of push, you kind of get it rocking. And then it takes that momentum before you can really get the car to actually move, right? So that's what we're kind of working on. We're working on this momentum, all right? So we were looking at possible square up area. It'd be interesting. So we'll just have to see, you know, what we get out of this, but ideally you're gonna see some kind of X initial, you know, XAB. All right, depends where this runs up here. Okay, say we come up, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, somewhere in this 618 area coming back up. Okay, and then we get that final sell off back into the 886. Okay, right here. Boom, something like this. Okay, so that would put price at 39.2. all right, so something like that would be not uncommon to see here. Okay, not outside the realm of possibilities to kind of have a buy zone like this. All right, by happen chance, you'll see that this 1618 coincides with the 886. Okay, so first you'd have your 1618, which is this one. Okay, so this is this first one. Okay, between the 0.5 and the 1618 is here. Okay, then you have this 1618 golden mean ratio. That would be this. All right, that would be this one. Then you'd have your pattern reversal zone D. We would change this to a long entry target of a bullish butterfly. Okay. So there's how we now can kind of create the argument in the opposite direction. Okay. That's what we were looking for, is building an argument as to how we're going to get this to change directions in our favor. Okay. So on a higher time frame, a lot of people would say this would look like inside price action, where you have the high and the low, and then you have this inside price action between the high, or between the low and the high. Okay, your price action basically consolidates between the two, and then you have this reaction out and back on to higher prices. Okay, so let's see how this develops. Right now, I think it's still a little bit early to call. These are more things that we want to see have happen, okay? And this is going to be fuel for our next kind of trade setup, right? So ideally, we're looking for price right now to do this, okay? To come up, kind of maybe double top in this area, okay? And then sell all the way back off. All right, sell all the way back off. Here's the current low, so we'll sweep the low, even back test it maybe as resistance. Okay, kind of stutter there for a little bit, sell off one more time, fill the completion zone. Okay, make a higher low there, find some kind of back test there. All right, ultimately end up back testing this, and then on our way. All right, so this is what we would like to see have happen in order to make the harmonic come to fruition. Okay, so that basically puts you at around 49,200 area for a kind of a local top, right? If you want to call that 49,000, anywhere in that 49,000 area. Again, this one can change a little bit, right? The reason it just looked so good right there is because it happened to coincide with a 1618 on the bottom and a 618 on the top. So the 618 on the top comes from current high to low. We'd be retracing to the 618, all right? The teal line at 49,132, okay? That's what we're looking for as our area of, I don't know, like a little dead cat bounce, right? You already kind of got it, but now it's kind of a little bit more, right? And then you lose steam again and you sell off, all right? So, okay, whatever. Bitcoin. See what happens. Okay, this is total. So total was interesting. We looked at this as, you know, it was actually really interesting. We looked at this, I believe, yesterday's stream, and we said, whoa, we have a 113 into an 886. This is very sharky, okay? And sure as shit, I mean, we didn't expect this violent of a reaction. Something more mild, maybe like this, you know, more like 2.7, 2.17, even like 2.13, but this went all the way down to 1.87 trillion. So really lost a lot of the total market cap there. A lot of money was taken off the table. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So as far as this goes, you had you created this shark. Okay, so a lot of times on a shark like this, you're gonna see a shark morph into a 5-0. Okay, so this is a bearish shark. Okay, bearish shark, and it'll morph into a bullish 5-0. And then the 5-0 will run. So this would be the 5-0 over here, okay? So let's see how that would occur, okay? So basically the 5-0 50 in the name basically has a key characteristic, the 50% retracement. So that would be right here, okay? 1.762 trillion is the 50% retracement, all right? And does that look far-fetched? To, like we said, if we sweep the low, all right, if you're going to sweep the low, how would you sweep it? Well, would that be very unlikely before a rally back to the upside? So I don't think so, right? If you're gonna sweep this, that's barely right there, okay? Not uncommon to see that, all right? So that would be our area of interest for sure, is anything right in this zone of 1.75 trillion, okay? The 50% retracement. Let's set an alert there. Sorry, I set it on the ray. I don't know what's going on here. Whatever. Must not like setting total alerts. Anyways, okay, so it's irrelevant about the alert. I'm just want to signify the area. All right, so common retrace here on a 5-0, and this is the way that a bullish 5-0 looks. Okay, so let me sorry, I'll do it over here so it doesn't distract everyone too much. Okay, so let me show you guys here. Okay, here we go. So what we're looking at here is we have the big XABCD pattern, okay, that happened up at the 1618. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Skip. Bad example. The shark goes from an 886 to a 113 up here. But either way, let me show you how it still would kind of look for the 5-0, right? So you come back down and retrace 50% of the way, it creates a new buy zone, okay? So that's what we're looking for right here, okay? That's what we're attempting to identify. This isn't the most textbook of shark. Usually you'll see this go all the way up here to a 113 like that. But this 886 can still happen, all right? If you guys would like, because I don't want to cause confusion, let me show you that as well. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you see on our example here, let me bring it over slightly. Okay, so you see on our example here, we have both the 886 and the 113. Okay, so it was at this 886 right here where we got the reversal, and that's the reason it's marked. Both of these areas, once you hit this 886, it really goes live. All right, you really like to see the 113 because it becomes more solidified, because when you hit the 886, you don't know if you're going to continue to the 113, and if you do, you're still valid. But once you're at the 113, it's much easier to invalidate above it. So the 886, it's just a little harder to read. Okay, but that's how the shark starts, okay? And then, you know, from the shark is where you morph into that 5-0. And you can see here that 5-0 is what you're looking for, okay? That 5-0. All right. Anyways, total market cap. The way that would work is you would then see a position taken here at a minimum to sweep the highs, right? Ideally onto new higher highs, and you could take some kind of long 3-to-1 like this, okay? once that 5-0 presents itself and you find some kind of double bottoming price action structure in the 1.75 trillion area. Okay, so let's look for that on total next. All right, ETH, USDT. All right, guys, I mean, we can't completely say we didn't expect this, right? I mean, look at exactly where it happened, right? Where it all went down, and what we had marked there since, like, right here, we marked this out, right? How do we mark it out? We fib from all-time high to the current local swing low back here on May 23rd, right? And you could see our deep retrace is between the 786, excuse me, between the 786 and 886 fib extension. Price action, you know, we had this line drawn here. As soon as we shot out of that, we went straight up, right into the deep retrace, straight back down, okay? And then some. All right, so let me clean that up real quick. All right, so what did we do when we came down? It looks like we squared up an area here and basically here. All right, so we hit kind of a square up zone on the way back down, and then immediately follow through price action got you right back above that critical kind of, you know, ice line level, right? So currently hanging out just indecision candle right now. Again, we're looking for a possible rally like this and then a failure, okay, and find ourselves somewhere in this area just based on what we looked at on Bitcoin and on total just now, right? So let's fib this, okay, from the swing low to the swing high. Again, we've hit that 382 area, so you would figure you're gonna hit this golden retrace, man. And it's like, okay, well, why can't we deep retrace on this? And it's like, not saying you can't, it's just depends how strong the trend is, basically, right? So what's going to tell us which one of these levels we're going to reverse at is going to now be the fibs, okay? So we need to turn to the fibs and we need to look for, you know, signs within the fib, okay? So we need to build some kind of bullish divergence or hidden bullish divergence here at some point. And until we do so, we're just going to keep, you know, testing levels until we get enough buyers to come in and help hold the level, right? Did it already happen on a low time frame? Sure, that's what these reaction rallies are for, or are why they're occurring. But I mean, yeah, you'd like to see us hold above this level, right? But it's also going to be a telltale sign if we don't, okay, and we sell off from it. That's what we'd be looking for, right? Are we going to get this? See, look, this one, immediate follow through right back above it, okay? That's not what this is. This is back testing it as resistance and then selling off again, okay? So that's going to be the kicker, all right? In order to invalidate that, you know, we obviously just need to maintain price above the level, right? You know, even if we regard it a couple times, we just need to hold the level, okay, if you want to take off right away. But I feel like at this point, being that, you know, we've kind of created this zone down here that keeps getting tested, if they test it again over here, okay, we're probably going to mark down one more time into this, you know, 28k area. And it's going to be scary because what's critical right now is holding above basically 3k. Okay, so falling down in here below 3k somewhere is going to be people are going to panic. All right. A lot of panicking is going to occur there. So what we would like to see, if it does happen, we'd like to see it happen like this. Okay. Where we just get this wick down there, but then immediate follow through, candle like this, right? Mimic these two candles down here. Okay. Where you get the test, but then the follow through is immediately beyond it. Okay, so let's see if we can get it like that, or at the worst case, an immediate like double bottom, right? Where we put in the low, but then we get the higher low and we get our neckline again and we get back above it, right? And we can go somewhere like that. So just we want to see. We really don't want to be below 3K very long, okay? If at all. And right now, you literally, this wick low was literally $3,005, okay? The low here, 3,005, okay? Was the low for the day. So you never actually fell below 3K yet. So it's just extreme level here. See this level? You just came down and you tapped it, and it's pretty much these highs from back here, right? So the previous A high is what you came down and tested. So right now, basically, again, like we said, to invalidate, you need to hold above it, all right? And even if you backtest again, you need to maintain it, okay? That's the only way to invalidate it, all right? If you fall below it and you backtest it as resistance, you're probably going to lose 3K, right? And then that's where you see this bottom of this golden retrace. Don't think you get a deep retrace. I think by the time you get there, you're going to see that hidden bullish divergence again. Something's going to save us, okay? But it hasn't blared its head out yet, all right? So for right now, pretty sure this is just going to be some kind of, we're going to run into previous resistance. What was once support is going to be back tested as resistance, right? This is what we're talking about. You fall through, you back test it as resistance, and you fail, right? This is what we didn't want to see here, okay? So we're about to do this right here, you would figure, okay? So look for that play in store. All right. ETH BTC. Okay, again, look, we're back testing some previous. The two yellow lines were the previous A and C high of the harmonic looking back left, and the blue line is the C high of the blue harmonic, okay? So that's what these yellow and blue lines indicate, all right? So what you see is happening now, look at that nasty doji, Darth Maul, look at that sucker. There it is. Remember that that nasty Darth Maul. I can't even draw right now. It just looks like straight up with this wick in the middle of it, with this little nasty little body. It's gross. Alright, so look, you're back testing the first level. Alright, this is the critical level here. If you have the steam to break through this, you're probably just going to run right smack into this level, okay? And then it's going to be key to see if this happens or not, all right? So this would just be, a failure pattern, okay? So something could be in the cards here, right? You see what we're talking about here? This would be good, okay? Let's see how we develop, all right? ETH BTC, bring this back down, previous support, right? Cluster, look at this cluster area. Okay, that'd be a nice little support level to kind of rest upon. Looking back left, all right, on ETH BTC. YFI. All right, guys, remember this orange line? We've been playing with this orange line for many moons. All right, so looking back left, this orange line created these massive amounts of what was once resistance was now, you know, breakout, back tested as support. Okay, so critical area. And then we move ahead in time, right? That same critical area, okay, let's bring it with us. You can see the orange line, right, where it's coming from. Okay, let's bring it back with us, and you can see that we are below that level. Okay, critical, what was once resistance became support. Okay, we've now lost it. All right, so being how important that area is, if we're going to fail one more time, okay, if we get one more failure here, like we're thinking might be in storm. Okay, so we run up, we hit this area again, we fail here, we double top, and we sell off, and then we go to sweep the lows. All right, so how does this, how would that play out? How would that look? Okay, X, A, B, 886, sell off. We'd be looking for 886 on the way back down. Bullish bat. Okay, bullish bat. Okay, and this is perfect because it's gonna get people to just give up all faith in humanity. And as soon as they give up all hope, we send it again. Okay, so yeah, and you know what, it hurts, don't get me wrong, but look, you look back left, the previous low was here. All right, I'm gonna mark it in yellow. All right, and even that, you look back even further left, and that low is basically the same low. Okay, the yellow's on top of itself. Okay, so this low that we're anticipating may happen is still going to be a higher low. Okay, I know it hurts, it sucks, but you would then have at this point a stop loss back where it originally basically was. It's never, at this point, it's never left yet. Okay, so stop loss would be below the previous X. Okay, and the yellow line was just to show you that this is a higher low, which the stop clearly also helps indicate. And you'd be looking to, you know, layer into a position here with a stop, with a stop like this, and you could have targets, you know, at this point you'd be looking to run it again, right? I mean, especially if you get back above this area. Look, if you're gonna get down here, okay, and find a bottom, and you end up back to this target, that means you're back above this level. Okay, that means you can actually see new highs at that point, right? Because this is going to be that critical breakout point, that break, hook, and go, right? That's where it would occur. All right, so look to relayer into this area, right? And what do we mean by layer? We just layer limit orders, right? And we'll be looking to sweep this previous low. We'll be looking for an 886 and a 1618 coinciding area. All right, let me clean it up now for you. That was just so you can see the story unfold. Okay, so again, we'd be looking to layer into this zone like so. All right, and we'd have a box in here, and we would layer. All right, you can even have a few below it, it doesn't matter. Okay, so let's look for that as our next opportunity to go long on, what is this, YFI. See, how it was irrelevant what the asset was. Um, yeah, I mean, the asset was irrelevant to us right there. We were looking at that the same way, okay? All we all we cared about was the chart there. We didn't even care what the asset was, right? Just that this is the type of pattern and structure we're ready to have develop. Why is this a bat, right? Why is this a bat? Let's bring it up into a clean slate here. Key characteristics of this bat are, you have the, price dumps, right? It's irrelevant where this is irrelevant, okay? Price dumps. Then you have the initial impulse up, also irrelevant, okay? It's all about the initial retracement once you have two swing points, an X and an A, right? So you're fibbing from X to A. So by fibbing from X to A, you see where you land, right? On the green line is the 50% fib, okay? So that 50% fib is right here, okay? Between X and A, we have the 50% B retracement, all right? That's key characteristic number one of a bat, is a 50% retracement. Then you rally up and you get this back end leg. All we care about on a bat here is that this is between a 382 and an 886. So if I were to fib from the A to the B, I'd be looking between the 382 and the 886, okay? So anywhere in that zone, this could have anchored like this, okay? That's why over here, looking back left, this could have been as low or as high as the 886, and we got an 886 up here, okay? So bat would have been irrelevant, would have been live from here, valid still, from here all the way through. This is why we don't trade this leg of it, because it's a wide kind of leg, okay? It's a wide area, okay? It's not a pattern yet. It's just an idea, okay? Then we have this, after that rally up, you finally get the final sell-off, okay? You get the final sell-off in price. And what we're looking for here is the 886 retracement from the X low to the C high, okay? So when we fib from the X low to the C high, you can see the pink 886 retracement, okay? That's where our D 886 completes on a bat, all right? Now, what else do we see here? We see an 886, and then we have this other number, okay? This is when we fib from the B low up to the C high, okay? Fibbing from here to here, we have this fib down, okay? So let's look at that, all right? So fibbing from the B point up to the C, you can see this 1618 area, okay? So this is an interesting point. Okay, so we had two interesting points. The 886 here, right? The 886, and then up here we have this 1618. That is where we draw this box, okay? And that becomes our layer zone. All right, makes sense? So now that we know that, let's go back down here and let's look at it again, okay? So our layer zone is going to be between the 886, that's the purple mark, and we're going to look for the 1618. So we're going to go from B to C, and we're going to mark the 1618, okay? So now we've found our layer zone between the 1618 and the 886. All right? Right there. All right. Okay. Moving along, we have Litecoin. Okay. Litecoin, again, look at this critical area you're at, where looking back left, we've had this marked out. I mean, you could see this obvious resistance area, okay? Where we went up, tested it, failed, went up, tested it again, and failed, and sold off, okay? We got back, that was resistance again, finally broke through, and now you're back below it again. We just cannot break above that 180 mark on Russian Litecoin. The bears are just holding it for dear life, okay? So the thing about that is, though, is the more these areas are tested like this, okay, eventually it's not going to hold forever, right? I mean, they're not going to be able to hold that forever. They're going to have to push this down and basically stay away from it, right? If they push this down and we go back up and we test it again, you know, that's probably where that's going to be it for the final time, okay? So yeah, critical point here. You've created some local resistance here that you might go up and see. And again, I mean, look at this gray box we have marked here. You have a square up right inside of it. You know, it would kind of align with everything we've been saying across a lot of other assets, okay, where we have X, A, God, that's a low B, too high. This is not a harmonic. So what else do we have? Nothing. It wouldn't be a harmonic here, okay? So we're just looking for different kind of structure, okay? So now, since we're not looking harmonic on this particular asset, okay, but we do have a zone identified that was this previous A and C high, right? That's what this gray box, it's what was previous, look, previous support became resistance. Now again, let's see if we can test that as support. It would do what we need, which is sweep the lows, right? So by sweeping the lows, something like this, okay? So where we have our double bottom at a critical support resistance area, okay? Some kind of structure that we could stand behind that aligns with, you know, it aligns with what we've been looking at on across the majors, right? We just want to see all that occur at the same time, okay? Some kind of, again, hidden bullish divergence, something like that, okay? Moving along, we have, oh my God, OMG. Okay, so this asset is kind of interesting. When we looked at this last night, we said one of two scenarios were going to happen here, okay? Price was basically, it was up testing this area, and we said we're either going to break above this critical area, back test it as support, and run to new highs, okay? Scenario one. Or we're going to lose this area, we're going to sell off, we're going to sell off again, and then this is where we got to come back above, okay? Well, we sold off, and we've sold off to that second level, okay? Now you're just kind of just ranging, you know, between these two areas, okay? So just kind of sideways chop here, okay? So it's going to be important that if we do lose this area one more time, let's see if we can hold. Gosh, it's not the strongest, but we do have this, what was once support over here, became resistance here, and that's this white line that we have painted, okay? So that's a possible landing point from here. But nothing too clear other than that. Okay, we do have this kind of trend line intact, so maybe it happens on top of it there, and you kind of just hold this, right? That's been kind of an upsloping trend line. since the bottom, right? Let's see if you've almost tested it already, right? So yeah, let's see if maybe this kind of chops sideways and it happens here again and you just get back above it. That'd be good to see. Be like this big, I don't know, broadening wedge almost, right? Just keeps broadening, upsloping, right? I don't know. Just an idea, but yeah. So let me clean this up. Let me clean this up. Clean this up. A little easier to see here. All right, so $8 critical overhead resistance currently is $8. To invalidate any sort of bearishness, you need to get above $8 for starters, and then on your way to that $10 area. Okay, that's how we remain bullish. If we fail to get above this $8 area, we're going to come back to 7. If 7 fails to hold, we'll basically see you at 6. Okay, so you're playing these 6, 7, 8, round numbers right now. Okay, moving along to Link. Okay, Link, you had this downsloping trend line here. We had the break of it, right? So we broke out and we back tested it, and now you're above it again, but not sure for how long we'll remain above it. That's remains to be seen here. All right, so again, we have this critical area marked here that we haven't been back to it. There is a square up below it at 19, which would be kind of scary. Let's see if we fib this from low to high. That 618 is above it, so looks more like this. You basically were already pretty much fully through this golden zone. Look at that. So you almost completed it. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to fall back in this again and actually see the bottom side of it and potentially into this gray box. All right. Before rallying back up to eventually what will ultimately be the square up. Okay. Let's see how that plays out here. So look to basically look for a sweep of the lows. The low that we've created, right? Look for a possible sweep of it. It just kind of seems to be what's in the cards on a lot of other assets in order to complete those large harmonics. Okay. Again, we don't have to complete them. They're not a pattern until they hit that D, but that's the way it's looking. All right. FTT, you made it all the way up to the 1414. You never quite got to the 1618, but you were up there, man. You straight sent it. Okay, so what are we looking at there? From the previous swing high, all-time high, previous high, May 12th, to the local low on June 26th. Okay, you made it all the way up to the 1414 at $80 and a little higher. I mean, you made it to 83, but I mean, when we got to this first level, right, we said, all right, we're here. So I said, I'll see you at the 1414, and then if not there, if it keeps going, you'll see the 1618. So you made it to the 1414. Okay, these are take profit target levels. All right, so you then sold off and you back tested all the way back to that previous D high. That was your back test. Okay, and you rallied back above it. So yeah, it'd be good to stay above that $60 area, right? Don't get me wrong. On FTT, right? Certain assets like this one are much stronger. Look, Bitcoin and these other guys, they hit this 886, 786 deep retrace. You know, ETH bounced along in here and sold off, right? So look where FTT was in comparison to ETH, right? So certain assets are playing at a different level. Okay, so some of these assets could just go off on their own like they've already done. All right, but you would think that if we get another pullback on everything, mainly Bitcoin, that you will see some more chop here, and maybe you test the level again, right? Maybe you sweep it, get back above it, right? Just a quick wick below just to sweep those lows. We'll just have to see. Tezzies, look at this. Look at this. These lines that we had drawn, look at that. Perfect, perfect from previous streams. What was once previously resistance is now support. Maybe we come up here, we test this again, right? It's either you get this double bottom at that critical support, or you fall below it, test something else, get back above it later, you make some kind of inverse head and shoulders. Something's going to happen in this area again, okay? It's just too strong of an area. Okay, so you figure there's some nasty resistance up here. Run up, hit this, sell back off, double bottom. Okay, paint some kind of structure there. Even if this already painted a perfect textbook harmonic, okay, you still likely get these double bottoms. All right. So what am I talking about here? Watch. So even if X, A, B, C 886. See, 802, all right? Critical. Why? Because you get the slightly lower low, and that's where you get the 886 from. Okay? See what I'm talking about? How this wasn't quite it. It wasn't quite there, but now it's there, okay? So price rallies up, you sell back off. People think, oh no, but as soon as we get back above it, we know we're okay, because it's all about that follow through. Just go down, complete the pattern, tag it, rally back up, okay? So let's look for that on, what is this? Tezzies, German Tezzies. I think it was made by the Germans, pretty sure. All right, so moving along, Uniswap. Okay, again, similar thing going on here. Look at that. Again, tagged another one of our lines, guys. Jeez, almost from line to line, right? So yeah, I mean, interesting stuff here. Looks like you did some kind of, gosh, it's hard to find an anchor point for this, because this is too high. It's got to be here. It was like X, A, B, C, yep, 88618, 1618. So, and then we double topped there, some beach, right? So now X, A, B, 886, 886. See, so that doesn't really make sense with this. It's probably not going to give you a harmonic. All right. More than likely, you're going to see that same it's that same double bottom here, okay, where you rally up, you find this previous what was once support, okay, we lose it, we back test it, and then we go down and we find support at this next level, and this becomes your ice line that you get back above, okay, your neckline. Okay, this is more likely of a scenario on Uni, is $21 to $22 buy zone. Hold on. Okay, sorry. All right. So something like this, guys, look for support back around the wick. Okay, look for support back around the wick. And why do we get that? Okay, so watch. For one, here was your square up, right? The wick came and hit the square up, all right? But now the wick in itself creates another square up that has to happen here, all right? And you're like, well, what are you talking about, Duck? I just see a nasty wick. All right, well, let's look for it. All right, let's go to the 8 hour. Let's go to the 6 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Let's go to the 3 hour. Let's go to the 2 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. 30 minute. It's showing up. 15 minute. There it is. There she be. Okay. So that little bastard. Let's see if it's more apparent even on the 5. It probably is, right? 21.24 on the 5. 21.85. Okay. So let's go back out. 21.24 and 21.85. 21.24 and 21.85. All right, those are the local square ups. Okay, so that's why I am the way I am. All right, look for that. Okay, doesn't matter what happens here, it matters what happens here, and then slightly higher low. Okay, all right, makes sense? Capiche? All right, here's another example, guys. Excuse me. Let's see if we have any more harmony here than we did on some other assets. Okay. This would be 786 cipher. 786 cipher. Okay. Cipher, depending where we anchor this, 786 falls right there. I like it. Okay, so we got a cipher. How come this is a cipher? Because you have a slightly higher high up here, and it's a 1272 into a 786, and your 786 coincides with a 1414. Okay, we're gonna take a quick look at that. All right, here we go. So from our initial low, we rally up, right? We rally up to our A, and our B is a 50%. So that's between, that's between the 382 and the 618. Okay, gosh, too sensitive. The 382 and the 618 is where our 50 is. Okay, between those two. Then we're looking for a C that's between the 113 and the 1414. So we got the 1272, which is between the 113 and the 1414. Then at the bottom, we're looking for a 786, and that's between a 1272 and a 0.2. That's the 1414. Okay, so this would be a textbook cipher on stellar lumens. Okay, so that would be what we'd be looking for next. And look, guys, it's not that crazy, right? We paint this initial deep low, right? And then we're painting a higher low, right? We paint higher lows here. Look at this. So it would encompass both the wick and the slightly higher low, and it would give you that, you know, that price action structure would happen that we're looking for. Okay, so yeah, XLM, AVE. Let's see if what we got here on AVE. X, A, B, 50%. We're going to be looking 886 on the bottom. BAT, 886, 886. Certain assets obviously are stronger than others, okay? This would be devastating for AVE holders, but it would make perfect sense for duck longers. Why? Because look at this square up, looking back left. Square up, okay? So you're right in that square up area, and you got an 886 area here, and you got a 2618, okay? So 3 pretty critical areas there. The stop, you'd like to see it below the X. Okay, so this will be a buy zone if you get it. Now look, some of these patterns are going to fail to complete. Others, when Bitcoin and everything starts turning, you know, it's probably going to be, you know, time on pretty much everything. But, you know, if things are dumping and this one happens to dump further down to this buy zone and come back up, well, I mean, take advantage of it, okay? Take advantage. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but if it does, this is how it would look, all right? Bullish bat. Dog. All right, look, dog, I already was marking one. I was already looking at this 886. So look, again, we have the low. Okay, we have the low, rally up. We rallied 50% of the way back down. Okay, 50% retracement. Then we rallied up 618 back on the top side. Okay, 618 on the top side, and then we're coming back down into an 886. But look, what's interesting here is we got the 857. Remember what I told you? If you get that slightly lower low, and that's where you get that 886. So if we bring this over and we actually bring it down to the 886, that would explain for one more slightly lower low, sweeping that wick, and that gives us our buy zone, okay, right here. All right, so dog buy zone basically between 20 cents and 21.50, okay? Yeah, so again, we'd be looking for some kind of, maybe this B point creates this resistance, okay? We're approaching it, or even either way, maybe you have some kind of from C to the low point, you're approaching a golden, you're in the golden zone right now. So that 618 is you know, in sight, and then you have this deep retrace. So either way, even if you get a little something deeper here, you're already in this golden zone, okay? So you could rally through here and even up into here, and it'd still be a low, a lower low, a lower low, okay? You can still see why you would dump there, right? And now we start to paint higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low. So this starts to, you know, turn the trend to the other direction, okay? All right, that's dog. Sorry. Distracted by the dog. All right, so moving along, let's look at Sol. Okay, so Sol, SOL, shit out of luck, right? So we looked at this big Nautilus shell that we made, and we came down 2 marks. But this rallied, crazy rally, okay? Crazy rally on Sol. Look how, oh my God. Yeah, crazy amount of positive momentum here on Sol. Again, we still figure that at some point you're going to come back and you're going to touch the parabolic, you know, trend line, okay? So watch out for that. That was pretty good drawing, pretty good line there. Okay, so watch out for some, you know, I don't know. It's probably going to happen at some point. Make just this big fruit horn, this big horn, right? Big Viking horn, but you never know. You know, I mean, if the further away this gets, right? Keep going away from the further away this gets. You thought this one was bad. Wait till you see this one. You know what I mean? So, oi. All right. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Don't trade this. YFI. Okay, so we had our downsloping, our parallel channel here that we broke out of, and we back tested this as support. Okay, so interesting. Maybe you rally up, square this up, and you test this one more time as support before rallying. Okay, so let's look for that on YFI. Maybe you even fall back in and you test the bottom side one more time down here as support before rallying. Those two, basically, because that would allow you to sweep the lows, right, and rally into that bottom area. Or you might hold on the top side of it and paint the double bottom that way. So not enough data yet on this asset to take a long yet. Okay, let's wait for further development. XRP, shitcoin, XA. This is gonna be a cipher. Cipher 786. Where are you? 786. Right there. Steady. Okay. Cipher. Bullish cipher. On XRP. Long 84 cents. 84 cents. Jesus Christ. Who pays 84 cents for this shit? Okay, so look again. Higher low. What would continue to be a higher low? Okay. So let's look for a potential small rally and then a bleed off back into sweeping the lows. And this is where you get your reversal. And this becomes your buy zone. Okay. Between 82 and anything in the basically low 80s. 80 to 86 cents, right? Anything you get in that 80 cents, gobble it up on XRP, all right? And that's how we can be led on to our next rally. From there, you would go right here. There you go. That would be the next trade on XRP. Okay. Long 80 cents, stop 60 cents, target $1.50, $1.60. Okay. XRP. Okay, guys, back to Bitcoin. So yeah, we're looking for a potential rally up here, anywhere here, 618, 786 type area. Okay. And sell back off and then find support down here around 40K. Still would be putting in a higher low and then, you know, make our way up, and we get to square up, possible square up down at 38K. But yeah, this is what I believe we have in store. So fun times ahead, right? Fun times. Yeah, cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Wait, let me take a look at the chat real quick. Hey Doug. Soul. BNB is lagging. Why did I start the fib for link there and not all the way at the bottom? Okay, let's look at that link. Why did I start the fib there? don't think I did. Let me do it again. So it looks like I started the fib there, but that's the 886. You can see the 0 point is actually here. I just don't have it marked. I don't know why it's marked. Yeah, it doesn't mark. Oh. It's marking up here. Okay, so that's my 0. This would be my 1. So that's why it's my 1 that's not marked. Okay, let me still 1. Let me still 1. I'll still... Gosh, why? Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, so there's my 1 to my 0. Does that look better? I just didn't have the 1, the anchor point marked. It was just there, kind of blah. Hopefully that answers your question. And next, B&B. Jesus Christ. B&B. Failed to get to the deep retrace. Double topped right here. Let's see here. It's fib from low to high. We got a 50% retrace. So this is bat type stuff. X, A, B, anywhere in here. I don't know if we'll get it, but this is the kind of price action that's setting up. Yeah. B&B. Interesting where we landed though, right? Look at that. Previous resistance, fell back right on it. Perfect back test. So yeah, hopefully again for B&B's sake, you just rally up and you hold this, right? You just test it twice and you double bottom there with the low and then the higher low. If you fail through, then your next shot is the harmonic to get back above it. Okay, B&B. Cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Catch you back in the Discord. See how this plays out overnight into tomorrow. See what we wake up with. Ideally, it's a run up somewhere into previous, say, 50K resistance, and then we bleed off again. Call it like we see it. Hate to hear it, but you know, it is what it is, right? So, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Duck out. Peace.